Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. It is estimated that over 400 languages are spoken in Nigeria, with major languages including Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, Fulfulde, Kanuri and Ibibio. But sadly, it seems this generation of young Nigerians are well on their way to losing their command of traditional languages. It is quite common to see young Nigerians who cannot have a simple conversation in their mother tongue. While some have argued that since the society isn't static, people should accept dynamism in culture and language. What then is the future of Nigeria's indigenous languages? Joining us to discuss this and more is Yetunde Ayeni Babaeko, founder Nalingo Naija, an outfit which targets younger generations and Nigerians in the diaspora that struggle to keep the Yoruba language in their households alive. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Good to have you here. But let's start with your NGO, Nalingo Naija.
Yeah.
What is it about? What do you do? And why do you think that the promotion of indigenous languages is important at a time when, many Nigerians who turn around and say, well, English is my first language, and they say, oh, I don't even know a word of any indigenous language. Yeah. So why are indigenous languages important? Is it about identity or culture or just definitely interaction?
Okay, so let me start from Nalingo Naija is a digital platform. It's not an NGO, it's a digital platform with channels on YouTube and Instagram where people can go to and learn how to speak the Yoruba language. And the idea was born by me because I'm Nigerian. You can see my name, Yetunde Ayeni Babaeko. I can't get any more Yoruba than that. But I don't speak Yoruba. And I've been living here for so many years. And I always wanted to learn because I think, as you asked, I think that this language is so connected to culture and identity. Being here and sometimes not being able to communicate with people in the market or with even friends that speak Yoruba, you always feel a bit left out. So I felt that it is really important, especially when you live here, to also speak the language. And I also see it with my children, my boys. My husband is Nigerian and he's Yoruba. He speaks Yoruba fluently. I don't. So my children who actually live here, go to school here, play with Yoruba boys, play football, don't speak. And I think if you are in Rome, you are with the Romans, right? So if you are in Nigeria and you are in Yoruba land, you should also be speaking Yoruba. So what happened was that I got them a Yoruba teacher who will be teaching them Yoruba. And after a while, a lot of parents came to me and asked for the number of the Yoruba teacher. So I knew that actually this is a problem that is really widespread. Even in households where both parents are Yoruba, we still have that problem that young generations are not picking up or are not keeping up the culture and the Yoruba language. So I now felt, okay, if this is happening here in Nigeria, it must be even worse in other countries. So how can I reach other countries? Internet, right? So that's why I came up, because my background is photography, I handle cameras, I also do a bit of videography as well, music videos. And I said, see, let me use my camera again for a cause that will improve or better our culture and languages for good.
Well, thank you for that. I want to commend you because it's really important to really understand your language and your culture. For me, at any rate, I'm passionate about the Yoruba language and our culture. But not even that, just even other cultures as well. You understand a people a lot more when you understand their language. You understand what's important to them. And I particularly enjoyed the videos because I watched your videos. They're bite-sized videos. Yeah. But what's really good about your videos is that a lot of us who do speak Yoruba fluently can't read or write it. So I enjoy the fact that you have your subtitles.
You speak fluently?
I do.
With proverbs?
I will have you know that I do. Dr. Abasi, you know I do. So, yeah, I really like the fact that you had the subtitles with the intonation. So even fluent Yoruba speakers who are not great with reading and writing can actually learn how to read and write. So was that deliberate? Was that to target everybody on the whole spectrum?
Definitely. And I know a lot of people out there will be like, see, this lady, she just told us she don't speak Yoruba, so how can she be teaching us Yoruba, right? See, it has to be somebody who doesn't speak Yoruba who's making these videos. It has to be somebody who knows where the challenges are. It has to be somebody who understands the struggle of people who want to learn Yoruba, and that's me. So when I'm doing these videos, definitely I'm working with professional Yoruba teachers and professors who vet the videos before they go out, who know exactly where to put the intonation marks and how to spell the words. And yeah, and I'm there, I'm directing, I'm working with professional actors who have been speaking Yoruba all their life, who know exactly how to pronounce the words, understand the culture behind it and the sense. And I'm telling them every time, because I don't speak, I tell them to slow down. So in the videos, they seem to be, when you're watching them, flow naturally, but then you also understand that they slow down a lot for learners to really get a feel of the language, ease into it, be able to follow every single word. The videos also have two parts. One part is vocabulary, where we introduce the vocabulary to the viewer, very slowly, repeating. I like repetitiveness, yeah? So we repeat words for them to really sink into the viewer. And after the vocabulary section, you now go into the skit. The skit is also very simple sentence structures, but at the same time, I always want to make them very entertaining, right, and funny, because I believe that people learn a lot when it's funny, it's something that remember. When we shoot, we go to different locations to also get the second part is visual context as well, different visual context. So you remember better. I mean, I could take the actors and put them in front of the white wall and just be shooting them. But then also it becomes blunt, it becomes not entertaining, it becomes boring, right? So we go to different places, the market areas, offices, on the street, to get the Nigerian Yoruba, Lagos feel into it, right? Plus learning the languages. And then you have these entertaining skits that are burnt into your head. And as the images are burnt into your head, the words are also sticking, right? And the sentences are also sticking. So, and that's how you now quickly learn. And when it's funny, I love like short, distinct phrases, insults. Insults are in it, right? These are the things we remember the quickest, right? Insults, everything like that is all in those skits. So when people are watching the skits, it just goes like that. And what I also do when I learn, I use the skits also to learn by myself, put them on repeat. And because Yoruba is such a fluent and melodious language, I memorize the skits like a song. And that's how,
yeah. You will still have to speak some Yoruba on this program before we wrap
Let's see how much you've learned.
You know, it's so funny that you said that, insults, because they stick. Yes. Because even growing up, I can't speak Yoruba either. Yeah. And it's so funny how insults would always stick, but everything else won't. So yes, I do get that point. Now, when we look at the way things are going and why younger generations are no longer speaking their ethnic languages anymore, a lot of it is also to do with globalization and the way the world has changed in itself. And one factor that many people may see as a problem is that ethnic languages have also been a platform for a lot of isolation between different groups across the country. And we need to find a way to always see the strength and diversity and not the weakness, whereas it seems as though we've trampled on loads of ethnicity as a weakness in Nigeria. How can we start to strengthen diversity, or best strengthen diversity, in order for us to actually preserve and appreciate ethnic languages more than we do? Because I would honestly say that gap is a huge reason why ethnic languages are not as respected as they used to be.
Yes, and it's up to us, right? We have the responsibility. It's on us to keep this language alive. Of course, somebody from China would not care about what we are speaking here, right? I mean, why should they learn it? Why should they go through that length, or Germans? But when we are living here, I believe when you are living here and you want to really understand the culture and know where people are coming from, where you are coming from. I'm Nigerian still. I mean, my dad is Nigerian, so it's really crucial for me to keep it alive, and it's definitely a personal reason, but we really need to do a lot more as a country, ourselves. Nobody else would do it for us, right?
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I like the idea of a digital platform. It's a very creative, original idea to promote language. But if you look at Nigeria, it's a role really for the school system and also for parents. I bring that up because even when we were growing up and attending primary school, secondary school, our teachers used to fine us for speaking in, what do they call it, vernacular.
Yeah.
You know, and then there would be a class monitor whose job is to report anybody that speaks in vernacular, as they call it. Say, excuse me, man, this person is speaking in vernacular. You know, you were forced to speak English. And then, of course, you find many homes. I mean, you want your boys to speak Yoruba because you think their identity is important. But many parents in Lagos here, you know, they don't want their children to speak any local language. You know, they want to pretend as if, oh, we are upper class, upper middle class, we speak English. You know, it's supposed to be a class thing.
I know that.
So why do you think that is the case? What do you say to those parents and the school, you know, the school principals who say don't speak your local language?
I keep wondering, because also I grew up in Germany, I'm German, and there's no way anybody can come into Germany and tell people not to speak their German or different dialects. I mean, they will chase you out. It's not possible. This is our language. We need to defend it as a person. And yeah, also my children as well, in their school, it's a British international school that they go to, and they don't have it in class. But then also their parents have been complaining now. The trend is now going again towards, sorry, I think we're missing out on something. That's because I know that this trend that you described was there for a couple of years now. And now the trend, again, proudly Nigerian, is coming. It's getting speed, it's getting momentum. So a lot of parents are now really regretting not having taught their children. And also in my school where my children go to, a lot of parents now went on the barricades and said, please, we want Yoruba to be introduced. But it's a hard battle because it's now really, really difficult to introduce it back to it. So what they have now done is they're offering extracurriculars. So for those children who are interested to learn their indigenous language, Yoruba, Igbo, they can stay back in school and learn. And truly, government also has to make a stand and tell all these international schools to imply it. I mean, there are schools who offer Yoruba, but there are also schools who offer Chinese language. So it's something that really I scratch my head. So we're teaching our children Chinese
and not our
own language.
Well, this is the effect of colonization. They came and just beat everything they could out of us, our pride in our culture, and we continue to see it, such that you make a movie in English, which is our official language, and the Oscars will tell you, no, it's not good enough. So now we have to understand, we need to embrace our own language. But I wanted to ask you, do you have plans to have videos in other of the major Nigerian languages? So what's your next project? Yeah,
so definitely we're still going on with the Yoruba. We are just scratching the surface right now. We keep continuing shooting. Now I'm releasing my first batch. If you go to our YouTube channel, Nalingo Naija, you'll see maybe like 30, 40 different videos. We are still releasing every Wednesday. We are releasing a new video on the New Video Wednesday. And we are still going. I think I'm a step-by-step person, so let's just really get to a certain level with the Yoruba language, and then later we'll have Igbo and Hausa as well.
That would be fantastic. A lot of people need that.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. We are about to go on a very quick commercial break, and when we're back, I'll bring you up also on Pidgin English, and that's as a conversation today. Do stay with us. We still have Yetunde Babaeko in the studio with us here on The Morning Show. Welcome back. You're still watching The Morning Show here on Arise News, and we still have Yetunde Ayeni Babaeko in the studio with us, the founder of Nalingo Naija, an outfit that targets younger generations and Nigerians in the diaspora and at home that struggle to keep the Yoruba language alive. Now, we do have a video of yours that we want to showcase before we continue with the conversation, so let's take a look.
Mo ṣe àbẹ̀wò sí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè. Lọ bèrè. Ǹlẹ́ o, Beyonce. Báwo ni? Oh, inú mi dùn láti gbọ́. Inú mi dùn láti gbọ́. Àlàáfíà lèmi náà wà. Àlàáfíà ni mo wà. Ǹjẹ́ mo lè pè ọ́ padà, Beyonce? Davido ń pè mí lọ́wọ́. O lè dúró? Ó ní láti jẹ́ pé ohun pàtàkì ló fẹ́ bá mi sọ nìyẹn. Ó dáná, mò ń gbọ́. O fẹ́ wá sí Nàìjíríà fún iṣẹ́? Jọ̀wọ́ wá. Ìròyìn pàtàkì nìyẹn. Ohun ìdùnnú ni yóò jẹ́ fún wa láti gbà ọ́ lálejò ní Nàìjíríà. Èmi gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹnìkan, gbogbo agbára tí mo ní ni màá lò. Màá ṣe gbogbo ohun tí mo lè ṣe láti jẹ́ kí ìbẹ̀wò rẹ kó lọ déédéé. Inú wa máa dùn láti gbà ẹ́ lálejò ní Nàìjíríà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Ẹ̀yin mélòó lẹ ń bọ̀? Àbí ọkọ ẹ náà máa tẹ̀lé yín wá? Ó mọ̀. Ó yẹ kó mọ̀. Ó yá lọ béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, béèrè. Kò sí ìyọnu. Pè mí padà tó bá yá. Ó dà náà. Màá dúró. Ó dàbọ̀.
That's brilliant.
Lovely.
You have to respond in Yoruba. You have to respond in Yoruba to that.
Do you know that now? I'm like, I need to go on to Nalingo Naija and really start watching these videos. That is brilliant.
Celebrities, Beyonce on our show.
No, that is great. But you know, before we went on the break, I brought up the topic of Pidgin English as well. Some people have argued that Pidgin English should even be Nigeria's national language. How Patois in Jamaica is their national language, because clearly more Nigerians do communicate in Pidgin English than the official English language. What is your take on this as well, and how we can start to harness and appreciate Pidgin English more?
Well, Pidgin English is really something that honestly is so cool. Even people abroad want to learn Pidgin English because it's English, but it's not, and there's this cool flow to it. And yeah, definitely it should be also something that we should introduce into Nalingo Naija. Maybe even in rapport with Yoruba, back and forth, Pidgin Yoruba, it's definitely something. And it has its own grammar, its own rules, right? So yeah, definitely. And it's quick to learn, and it's fun to learn. And definitely, I think, yeah, just like Patois, you should have its own representation. Because this one now, Pidgin is something everybody speaks. Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, everybody. And maybe that one, yeah, should be definitely well represented on the internet as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, languages live, they die. There are some languages that have died if they are not kept alive through constant use from generation to generation. And that video, I mean, that was really nice. Yeah. You know, I see you focus on, you know, conversational Yoruba, so that people can at least start from the basics.
Yeah.
And then,
although this video now, I must say, is a bit advanced already. I don't want to scare people who watch this now. There are other videos that are really more basic, because for a non-speaker, this is already a bit advanced.
I see.
And this is a guest actor. We also have guest actors on our show. Like this is the CEO of BHM. So people who love the cause, celebrities who want to lend their voice and their face to it, will come and be guest actors.
Well, I would like you to attempt to speak Yoruba on this program. I mean, you've been back home for about 12 years.
Yes.
And you've been doing Nalingo Naija. You must have picked up some Yoruba.
Yes, and I must say, working on this is the period I've learned the most.
No, do you want to say that in Yoruba?
Oh, God. Okay, I can say, Oruko mi ni Yetunde.
Okay, my name is Yetunde.
Yes. Mo fe bere ibere.
You want to ask a question?
I want to ask.
Yeah. You are not doing badly. You are not doing badly.
You have been asking me questions. Let me ask you questions. Kilo feje.
What do you want to eat? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
You look hungry.
You see, that you two can get there.
Exactly.
I am going to get there. That is my promise to you, Dr. Amatiantodo. I am going to get there. Give me 1 year.
Yeah.
Then what has been the response to Nalingo Naija online?
Yes. I mean, people love it. People love it. Especially, I have a lot of Igbo people who watch it, who are living in Lagos and want to just brush up on their Yoruba, even if it's just to go to the market, things like this, and how to respond and even to understand when people are talking, what are they saying. Abroad, definitely, parents abroad who just say, you know what, to their children, just sit in, you like your computer, right? So sit in front and learn the language, watch this, and just by watching it. And we also have skits with children, so it's also appealing to the younger generations as well and the youth. So they can be watching it and put it on repeat.
So how would you recommend that people use this YouTube videos? Because everybody has their own methodology of learning a language. How do you recommend that people should use it?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think, like I said, repeat, because these videos are short. They are all like 3 to 4 minutes, which is quite short for YouTube. YouTube recommends like 10 minutes, but I kept it short intentionally. So if you watch it once, twice, 3 times, by the 3rd time, you already have... In
one sitting? You should just repeat it in one sitting?
Yes, exactly. Just repeat it. And because you need to repeat to follow now also the subtitles. Like, you know, when you watch movies with subtitles, sometimes you miss out something because the subtitles are too fast or something, or you couldn't read it. By the 2nd or 3rd time, you've gotten it. You have really, you have been able to follow it. So you watch these videos like 2-3 times, and then really the sentences, this one now, the sentences were quite long. The other videos, the sentences are much shorter. So it's much easier to just memorize them.
And often at times people find that when they're learning languages, it's easiest to learn to just speak first and then focus on the reading and writing aspect later. Yeah. But with the videos come the subtitles as well. Do you recommend that people go along by also learning how to write while learning how to speak? Or should the initial focus really just be on the speaking, and then over time as you advance, you can then put more emphasis on the subtitles, etc.?
Exactly. Because, like we said, Yoruba is such a melodious language, right? You really need to develop an ear for it. As you know, one word can mean 3 different things depending on how you pronounce it. So hearing is really, really crucial. That's why also when we produce these skits, I put a lot of emphasis on the sound. I hire professional sound people, so nothing will be lost later in translation, that you really need to listen and have a clear hearing. And then really from listening and memorizing it, and then later you can go into the writing. I think the writing right now is not that much key. It's really the pronunciation, because if you really mispronounce a word, your whole sentence is off, right? So it's really about hearing first. And then I think the writing and the intonation marks that we put there is really good for people like you, for instance. You already speak Yoruba, but you want to improve on your writing skills. And then it becomes important.
Well, let me introduce a little politics into this.
Okay.
You know, the Nigerian, in our national education policy, there's an emphasis on indigenous languages. But the problem we have is that we have over 400, languages, and it becomes very difficult, except people in different communities decide to promote their own language. So we have people doing the dictionary of Igbo words, translating the Bible into Igbo, translating it into Efik and into some other languages. But if you look at the Nigerian government itself, there is a contradiction. Section 55 of the Constitution of Nigeria recognizes only 3 languages: Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba. So will you say that, for purposes of encouraging our national identity, it's better to just focus only on those 3 languages?
No, definitely not. Like I said, I mean, we all really have to defend our own, right? We have to really work. If you are Yoruba, you have to defend. If you are Efik, you need to really, work towards your language, keeping it alive as well. I can't do it for you, you can't do it for me. So it's this initiative, recognizing just 3 languages. Of course, it's because of the numbers. So million people speak Yoruba, and the number for Efik or any other Nigerian languages less, right? So I do understand why they focus on these 3 languages and ethnic groups first. But I really can't say. I think that really everybody who speaks one language really needs to defend the language on its own.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you, because one of the beautiful things about being a Nigerian is the fact that all these different tribes exist. Exactly. They cannot become homogenized into 3. Exactly. I mean, that would be an absolute tragedy. Yeah. Yes, it's important. But I also wanted to ask you, we've touched on this briefly, but there's a bit of a complex, whereas it takes somebody like yourself with your half European heritage to actually come and appreciate the Yoruba language to this degree, even though you don't speak it, and try and propagate it. A lot of Nigerians might not feel the need to do that.
Yeah,
what do you say to that?
I'm surprised as well. I'm really, really surprised. I mean, there are other digital platforms. Definitely, I know that there are some videos out there. There's on YouTube that are already trying to do that. But nobody has tried to do teaching Yoruba in this way. And I don't know why. I really don't know why.
Thank you for getting the ball rolling.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.